Alright, hello everyone. I'm going to do a matchup analysis video this week on Harmak versus Envy. Harmak being Ness, Envy being Ike. And the big takeaway from this set, or not this set, but this game in particular, is what a shift in momentum looks like in a game. How to spot that, and how to determine whether you're playing neutral or not. Just because neither character is in a combo doesn't mean that you are in the neutral. And I think that that's something that this game shows very well. Very little of this game is played in neutral, even though I would say that this game doesn't have very many combos. And what does that mean to neither be being comboed and to not be in neutral? What that means is sort of a lot of this game is played off of, and a lot of the exchanges are won due to corner pressure or stagger situations in, like, either one character is cornered and the other character is like zoning them out, or like shield pressure stuff and spacing on shield to bait different attacks to come out, or edge guarding. So those situations are, in my opinion, not really playing neutral game. So you're going to see a lot of that, and you're going to see a lot of damage being done without a combo happening. So be on the lookout for that. I think it's a very interesting game, and yeah, Harmak sent this to me and asked me if I wanted to take a look. So it was good. Let's take a look. So right off the bat, you can kind of see that the sort of roles that these players are playing. Right, you pick a role when you are starting a game. You either want to be the aggressor, or you want to be the person who's like reactionary, and you have different strategies that you sort of go towards. So you can see right now that Envy is going to start the game, and he's going to start by backing up to the corner. Right, Harmak takes the space, and that's like the rhythm you're going to see for the first stock right here. Right, let's look at it again. Right here, Harmak goes forward, Envy goes back. And you're going to see that Envy is going to be running away and trying to zone out Harmak while Harmak is doing the approaching, right? Right now, this isn't really neutral. You know what I mean? You can kind of see that both players are kind of doing something. Neither of them have access to all of their like kits at once, right? I have a very narrow definition of neutral, in the sense where neutral is when both players are completely neutral against each other. They're both in like standing animation, or both dash dancing on opposite sides of the screen, whereas something like this, you can very clearly see the roles. You know what I mean? There is never a point in time where these players are standing still or have enough space to where they can do anything. They're always trying something, right? Envy's trying to zone out with his range, while Harmak is trying to weave in between those hits. Okay? And you can see that the momentum is switching right now. For Envy to have the advantage, Harmak is backing off. And you can kind of see, like, wait a second, how did Envy gain all of this stage positioning, and how is it that Harmak like lost, right? So you can see, like, right here, I would say that Harmak for this entire period of time is like winning. Like, he kind of has Envy on the ropes, he's doing all the right things, but then this happens. This whole sequence right here is like Harmak drops the aggression, like Envy finds a little hole inside of his defenses, or his wall, and is able to break through and sort of start his own offense. So let's sort of dive into exactly how that happens. So you can see right here, it happens because of like a couple of things, right? It's the first thing is the snare. It misses, which means that he gets hit, but more importantly than that, it's this down air and this back air that sort of, and then that nair too. So there are like a lot of like little things in neutral where it's like, okay, Harmak is the aggressor right here, but the moment that he misses that nair, he isn't the aggressor anymore. So he shouldn't act like it. You know what I mean? So he just like missed a move, and then this happens, right? So for the first time in the game. And that's a very unfortunate SDI on that jab, if that's what that was. Like, Envy has center stage and Harmak is cornered, whereas for the rest of it, it was sort of like, oh yeah, like Envy's going this way, so Harmak's chasing him, and then Envy goes this way, and then Harmak's chasing him, and it's like sort of Envy is running away, like, right? And you run away to the edges of the screen. You can't really run away to center stage. Um, so when this is flipped, you sort of have to think, okay, like you can't have the same strategy because you're in a different situation, right? You can't use one strategy in every situation and win all the time. So let's sort of get into a dissection of what makes offense good and what makes defense good in different situations. Why is it that I'm aggressive when I'm pushing someone off stage, but I can't be aggressive when I'm cornered? You know what I mean? Like you can use any move at any time. Why don't we see an equal amount of aggression from any position in the stage? I know a lot of lower level players kind of are like that, where they kind of have the same speed that they play the game no matter where they are. And let's talk about why you shouldn't do that. Because of the cost benefits, right? So if you're in center stage, right, and you're being super aggressive, what's your benefit? You push them off stage. You push your opponent off stage, all the way to the blast zone, and then you either lend them into an edge guard or you kill them, right? So that's like a really big plus. If you win, like if you win and you hit them on offense, center stage facing out, you set them in a really good position for you to follow up. Maybe you don't have true combos, but you can still do a lot of like, I don't know, like edge guarding, like corner pressure stuff, and then tack on that damage. So there really is an incentive for you to be aggressive when you have center stage, right? When you're pushing someone, when your opponent's on the corner, it's to your advantage to run up close to them and push that advantage as far as you can. Let's look at the cons of being aggressive in center stage. What happens if you mess up, right? If you mess up and then your opponent hits you, right, from the corner, you get sent this way, right? You get sent back center stage. You're in a tech situation, whatever, maybe they get a combo on you, right? But that combo sort of is ambiguous at this point. We don't really know. So losing sort of isn't as big of a deal as the benefits that you gain from winning, right? So that's like you'll see a lot more, and this is like super basic Smash stuff. I'm sorry for anyone who like already knows all this stuff, but that's like why you should be more aggressive. The costs are like way lower. You know what I mean? It's like this isn't a death combo. Like not necessarily. Like you're gonna take damage, but like damage is whatever. Like you have the potential to kill somebody. So like you have really big like pros. You have very small cons. Be aggressive, right? If you're Harmak right here and you are being cornered, what are the pros and the cons? Well, it's the exact opposite, right? If I'm being aggressive, my reward is maybe I push him center stage and I'm able to take this section, right? Not necessarily having a really big combo. It's hard to get your combo starters going in the corner where you don't have a lot of space to maneuver around. You usually just land straight hits. So to be aggressive in the corner means you get stage. You don't really get damage. But what happens when your aggression misses, right? If you mess up, then you're the one that gets bounced off, right? So that's how come when you see people in the corner, they aren't as aggressive as people that are cornering them, because the cost benefits just aren't the same. These two halves of the equation are like way different. So Harmak makes the mistake right here of being in this spot and then being aggressive, right? And what happens to him is like he starts taking hits. He's not in his rhythm anymore. And then Envy is able to get his foot in for the first time in the game, and he takes it really far, right? This first stock is fairly even, but you know it's even in a sort of I win you win different ways, as opposed to we are trading over and over again. It's gonna get more interesting in the next couple stocks. But yeah, so like you see right here, okay, like sort of, and that's like sort of the advantage of being aggressive on the corner, right? Harmak avoids this. Nice duck. I think that he only avoided it because he ducked. So he's able to punish. It's a guaranteed punish, so go for it. But like this is as much as you're going to be able to do, right? It's like a combo, but it didn't really mean too much. So like obviously go for any win that you can when it's guaranteed and available to you, but don't like realize that like sometimes it's like too risky to do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it is like it's not risky, so you should do it. But like the benefits of hitting someone mean a lot of different things. Like hitting someone off stage is worth like 5 hits on stage randomly, you know? So yeah, we're moving on into the next stock, and you're going to see Envy take this entire stock without losing, like without taking any damage basically. So I'm just going to let the stock play out so you can all see it. And it's all due to sort of him being able to outrange Harmak. Like, again, notice how like we aren't playing neutral. He's sort of able to be in this range where Harmak's attacks aren't going to move. Or this is like as close, well, I guess I'll take that back. This is as close to neutral as we're going to get. You know what I mean? Like, Envy is sort of zoning, and Harmak's trying to get through the attacks. And it's not really working. Like, Envy is playing super safe, and he's catching Harmak on his overextensions, right? Pushes him to the corner, and doesn't really want to push it too far. He just says, okay, let's keep you here. Let's see what we can do with it, right? Harmak's like, okay, here's my chance right now. But, you know, doesn't make too much out of it. And yeah, you can kind of see like the momentum of this game switching back and forth, right? No one's really winning neutral in an honest way. It's like, oh, you messed up your offense, so now let me like punish that and start my own offense. Oh, okay, my offense ended, and I'm gonna like, you know, like it goes back and forth this way. They never have a chance to breathe. Harmak is now down 2 stocks to 4. I think he's going to get a kill right now. Good. And now you're going to actually see Harmak's turn to put up his offense, right? And it happens because Envy uses his invincibility in such a way that he ends up cornered at the end of it, right? This nair hits in an unfortunate angle, sends Harmak center stage. Envy has a very unfortunate reaction, jumps into a fair. This leads into some pretty sick pressure and corners him. And I do think that, especially like with a character like Ike, like knowing how to corner and how to get out of corners is really important. Because he doesn't have combos really. He just sort of is a zoning character. Right here, see this? Harmak didn't take any damage. And it's like, this isn't a combo. None of this is a combo. Like you wouldn't put this in a combo video, but it's like freaking really good. You know? Look, he took 0 damage. This is a 0 to death, okay? Look at this 0 to death. Right here, corners him, right? He jumps into there, so it's not a real combo, right? This is dumb, but, you know, Envy is also equally dumb. Sends him back off, sort of keeping him in the corner. Envy doesn't have any opportunity to do anything, right? And it's sort of, that's like kind of the downfall of Ike, in my opinion, is when you're being pressured, when you're being like overwhelmed, you have very few options to relieve pressure, right? You don't, like the ultimate pressure relieving tool is like a game and watch up B. You don't have that. When you get hit, you're gonna get hit hard, and when you are playing against a good player, they're gonna know how to push you as far as they can and like extend those punishes and those like not neutral situations as far as they can go. So Harmak pushed it all the way to death, which is like perfect. You know, that's exactly what he needs. He pretty much evened up that game with that stock. But Envy has his turn now, right? So it's like, this is how quickly a game can kind of change momentum, right? Harmak messes up, gets hit by this forward air because he was messing around. And now Envy is, ooh, oh, okay. This is really big, because right now it's like Harmak is at advantage, right? And to interpret the game in this way is a really fun exercise for it, because any game can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways. But to interpret a game as a series of corner pressure exchanges when they happen is what I felt best for this game. So this is, in my opinion, the proper way to both play defense and offense from farther away, right? So you're going to see Envy sort of try to weasel through, and Harmak is going to try to be as sticky as possible, right? Or at least keep him off the stage, because that's what you want, right? You don't want to necessarily hit him, you want to just keep him here, right? So Harmak is going to go around and try to like hit him down here, which will force Envy up to this platform. Once Envy is up to this platform, Harmak like Envy's here, Harmak will kind of back off and say, okay, I acknowledge that the range that you can threaten while on this platform is different than the range down here. When you're down here, all I have to do is cover this, right? But when you're up here, I have to cover all of this. Any of this can happen, right? So like, if I mess up and I jump onto the platform, you can drop down, go low. If I mess up and I go under, you can jump up. So what Harmak does is he says, okay, I'm going to cover this as much as I can. I'm going to sort of, in this oval, put fairs, put hitboxes, so that you can't be too hasty, either coming down here or dropping down and going through this way. So you're going to watch that happen right now. Envy is going to try to find a way through, but Harmak is going to try to keep him cornered as much as possible. Wait, is that this stock, or is this the next stock? Uh-oh. Oops. I think I was describing a different situation. Yeah, that's probably going to happen next. Next stock. It has to be the next stock. Yeah. There it is. Okay, cool. I was a little late. Yeah, alright, I was a little too early, but this is the forward air I was talking about. Yeah, so I skipped over that part of the game, but it was more of the same, you know. It was like, I mess up in neutral, then I can push you to the corner, like, see what happens. So, like, let's look at that good defense now, because that happens here. Right here, a lot of just zoning. Harmak finds little opportunities, and, like, right, like a situation like this is, like, something that, like, a bad player would kind of drop the ball on, right? So you see right here, and like let's go back a little bit, because I do like watching this kind of stuff. Right here, keeping him out, not necessarily wanting to get a hit, but goes in for this nair because of this forward smash, which was a missed input. Just a lot of good zoning, you know what I'm saying? Not like actively throwing out hitboxes and getting combos, but like you kind of have the right idea going. And I want to talk about this moment right here. Okay, so like Envy double jumps and he's going to land on this platform. So what do you do if you're Ness and you're right here? You know? Well, not necessarily if you're Ness, but just if you're anybody, what do you do? A lot of lower level players will say, oh shoot, there's a guy. He's like really close. I have a move. Let me like throw that move at him. You know what I mean? And like what happens is that move gets shielded, that move gets punished, or like, you know, and then like suddenly what you thought was like a really good situation for you was like, oh, now I'm out here. Or like I hit him, right? And he's up here and I just hit like a random nair and it doesn't matter. You know, he has center stage now. What Harmak does, and what, you know, you would see like a lot of sort of mid-high level players do, is he's like, okay, he's up here. That's not a good spot for him still. Let's take stage, right? Let's not attack him yet. Let's kind of stay here and like, you know, like Envy kind of breaks through the wall right here, but it's like this decision making that's good, right? Envy has to, like, there are a lot of ways that Harmak can punish this, right? He just missed spaces or something. But in that situation, oops, let's go back here. In this situation, you're in a way better spot than when you were over here earlier, right? Like, let's go into Bizarro land where it's like a really low level player playing. This situation, the punishes you get here are like okay, and the risk is like kind of bad, right? But now he's here, and you're here. So it's sort of like he has to come down, he's coming from a disadvantage, all you have to do is kind of defend this space, it's easier. Your center stage, you can juggle him out this way, you know what I mean? If you get hit, it's like whatever, you don't die, you get cornered, which is a bad spot, but it's not as bad as dying, right? So what he did was he exchanged this like, you know what I mean? Like, like you're at advantage and you could do it, but he exchanged that and went this way so we could have this, which is like a better spot, right? He ends up whiffing, and then Envy gets stage back, but it's like, I like the idea, right? I'm like a guy that like likes ideas. So that was the idea behind that, and that's something important to acknowledge, right? Keeps him cornered. Again, taking more stage. Good out of shield option. Oh, good edge cancel by Envy. He was actually trying for that multiple times. This is the first time that he got it. And because of that, the back air misses. That back air would have sent him flying. That would have evened the game for sure. That's it. I think he's just gonna grab ledge. Yeah, okay, cool. So now it's last stock, and let's see what happens. And immediately Harmak just like gets grabbed, and I think that just he like Envy does not let go. He lets go here a little bit, but he gets it back, and then he drops it. Oh my god, so sloppy, everybody. Jeez, give me an easier match to commentate. Okay, so this is yeah. Okay, that's a critical miss. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about like this situation with the PK fire because that's important. And I do think that it's not Harmak's fault for like doing it. Like you have Envy on his last stock, and there's a potential. You could go for it, and that's fine. But let's talk about that exact situation we were talking about before, where it's like you have him in this punish. You know what I mean? And like granted you're at 80%, he's at 50, right? You're both on your last stocks. Maybe you want to take it, and like that's a valid thing to do. So Harmak decides instead of taking stage this time, he wants to punish, right? So he ends up whiffing a grab here, but instead what he could have done is what he did before, is he could have pushed in this way, camped out right here, or like not really camped, but sort of check this spot, because like Envy's here, he's wasted his double jump. You can see like the little halo right here. He's gonna fall to the ground, so then you're in a spot where you have him cornered, and you could potentially win neutral that way. Oh, well, neutral in quotation marks, or like he can put himself at advantage, right? But sometimes you don't really want to do that. Like it's not always stage position. Like Smash isn't always a game of stage positioning. Like you could do combos and stuff. So like he elects to do that. He whiffs this grab, which gives Envy this opportunity to just win the game, right? So this is exactly the cost benefit I was talking about. Yeah, if you do it right, then you get the combo, right? But if you mess up, that was just the game. And I think that that's something worth sort of thinking about, right? Like, yes, like it is always good to go for combos when they're like guaranteed. It's always good to do damage to your opponent, but like what kind of damage are you doing to them, and what risk do you have? You know what I mean? Everything in Smash is a risk, so you have to kind of hedge your bets and say, is this risk worth taking? Sometimes it is, and in Harmak's case, it did seem right in his head, but it landed on tails, and he ended up getting super destroyed for it. I don't know if he realized that was what was at stake, and if but like those are different like types of judgment calls, right? Different play styles and stuff would sort of make different decisions in that situation. But big thing to talk about in this match. Definitely watch it again if like with the understanding of like what I'm talking about, and try to see it through that lens. How does momentum change? How is it that players assume different roles? How can you push a corner situation? Because that's not neutral, right? The important thing to notice, and I think that something that is really important when doing a lot of sort of self-reflection, is to recognize that this is not neutral. What you saw in this game, like very little of it was neutral. And to understand how good or bad you are at different aspects of the game, right? There are a lot of players that are like, oh yeah, like my punish game is great, but my neutral game is garbage. It's like you have to kind of know what you mean by that. Neutral could be two characters dancing on opposite side of the stage. They're like trying to zone each other and be in and out of each other's ranges. But when you are cornering someone and they are fighting to get stage that you have, that's not neutral anymore. When they are shielding your attack and you are walloping on your shield and you're forcing them to roll, that's not neutral anymore. So know how and interpret that situation as part of your punish game. You're punishing somebody, and your reward is not damage. Your reward is space. Your reward is stage positioning. That's like a type of punish. So to interpret the game in that way and sort of blur the lines between what is neutral and what is punish game is like very useful, and I think that that's something worth thinking about for a lot of players. So that's all I have to say about this match. So until next time, see you later.